we can start out with that. Maybe some people are wondering, like, what happened because we were talking about Danny taking over for season 2 at the end of last season.
And then he just disappeared.
Yeah. So turned out that, we were going to have a new co-host when we found out Chuck was moving to Rome.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but I was supposed to be moving to Rome, like, this month, and they postponed it until April now. So.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
So that's still the plan.
That's still the plan.
Okay.
Just not quite as much of a fire sale at the house to get rid of everything that we own, and
How much Italian do you know?
barely any.
He's got flashcards.
I got flashcards. We've been watching Seinfeld in Italian because I know like the episodes pretty well.
Yeah, that's
So
smart.
Netflix,
yeah.
you can put it on Italian and then have English subtitles so that you're like right on.
Yeah. Good. All right. So
So pretty soon I'll be able to say these pretzels are making me thirsty in Italian. You know?
that was
No
be the
soup
first
for
thing
you.
I learned. Do you know that one yet?
No, I don't know much, man.
What
They're
do you,
real
what
and they're
do you know?
spectacular.
I know the transactional things. I learned transactional things, so I am not to conversations.
Okay, well,
yet.
we can
Yeah.
skip it then. Let's move on to what we're here for today. Today in studio we have AJ in the Woods, drummer and singer.
Hi. Thanks
Thanks
for having
us. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. So this is, how much of the band are the two of you?
We are 2 out of 5.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it
Feels
depends on the
like,
day. So we started, me and JC, who is not here today, unfortunately. So we started as a duo. And then from there, we ended up adding a bassist and then a drummer. And so Zach wasn't like our first drummer, but you are now like a core member. Like he's been here for probably 6 years.
Maybe 5.
Maybe
5.
5?
I've lived in the area for a little over 6,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, so maybe 5. So now I think of us as like, core member. And then we recently added a fiddle and backup singer, who's with us all the time as well. So right now we're a 5-piece. And then sometimes when we do like our big, huge shows, we add anywhere from like 8 to 10.
Wow, nice.
So yeah, for our album release coming up, we're gonna have 2 additional backup singers, and then we're gonna have keyboard, another guitarist, and cello. So it'll be 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nice.
it'll be fun.
It's going to be
yeah.
a production.
The last time we had that many on stage was 2019. So
Cool.
yeah.
So you guys all gonna be wearing masks up there then? 'Cause it's
Try not to create a spreader event.
Yeah.
party
yeah.
of 10 or more.
Exactly.
Just decided it was getting paid too much. We need to divide this further. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's every band's
Too
problem,
much
right?
money.
We're just getting paid way too much. We need to spread this around.
So what part of the area are you guys based out of?
We're all over Cleveland. So I'm in Twinsburg.
Close
Yeah,
to here?
I'm out in Auburn, Chagrin Falls-ish.
And then we have the other members are West Siders. So we have 2 in Berea and 1 in North Olmsted.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was in Lakewood before the pandemic. So like before then, Zach would like drive out to all of our practices all the time. Very committed
Wow. Yeah.
to do all that. So yeah, so now we it really just depends. Like sometimes we practice West Side, sometimes we practice at Zach, sometimes at mine.
Mm-hmm.
Usually my house is like the go-to, but
All right.
How do you decide how many members are doing the gigs?
it depends on like what it is. Sometimes they really just need a duo for the space. Other times it's just like, well, our bassist isn't available, or someone is available, so then we'll do it that way. The only time we bring out a lot of people are for like the huge, House of Blues shows.
Yeah.
Well, House of Blues is the one coming up, right?
That is, yes, August 20th. So we are having our album release show. It's been a long, long time coming. So our album Stay Steady is releasing on August 12th, and then August 20th we're in the Cambridge Room. So it'll be nice because it's a little more intimate, and thankfully they're having like a grunge event in the main hall, and it's like a bunch of cover bands. So it's like perfect. There's not gonna be, parking won't be an issue. It'll be, yeah.
All
It'll be
right.
fun.
Good. Okay. I was
Yeah.
picturing you guys on that main stage.
No.
Yeah. It's fun to play up there,
It's
but,
fun to play up there, but
we're
yeah.
not quite going to fill the space.
Yeah. So this is gonna we're gonna fill the space well. It's
Yeah.
gonna sound great.
Yeah, that Cambridge Room sounds great.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, we played there for the Whiskey White Lightning Festival. I think that was maybe 2018, and then we played main stage twice, 3 times.
Sounds right.
Yeah, before. So we're really, really happy to be back. Yeah. And
Cool.
It'll
You
be
guys inviting other acts with you?
yes. So we have Apostle Jones is going to be playing, and I think it's just been crazy because I feel like the last 2 years haven't like existed. So I feel like, oh yeah, we just played with them, but no, we haven't. So we have the first. So kind of going in order. The first is going to be Brent Kirby. Is going to be opening for a solo, which we're really excited about because when JC and I started as a duo, our first, I guess, show as like billed as AJ in the Woods was Brent Kirby's 10x3 when he did it at Brothers Lounge. So the fact that we were able to like have him come, play for us is really special. And then we're going to have Morning Bird play next. So it's actually our bassist. He's the lead singer of that band, and they're fantastic.
You heard of them?
We've heard from people on this podcast.
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
They're great. They're one of the ones that I love watching. Every time
Yeah.
we see them, it's just like, damn,
Mhm.
they're pretty good.
Yeah, and like Jeremy's just a wonderful human being and a great person to play with, and so we're just excited to have him. Like when we've done some longer shows, like we're like, can we play a Morning Bird song? So like we had him do lead, and like I sang backup. I think one time he showed me the bass line. I do not play bass, so I think I
that's
played
so
bass
cool.
once
That's so cool.
when we covered his song. So that was pretty fun.
He tried to teach Josh the bass. That didn't
yeah,
go so
but
well.
that didn't work out too well. So they're playing next, and then we're gonna have Apostle Jones. We're gonna have the big show with all of their funk. So I'm really excited for that. The last time we actually played with Morning Bird and Apostle Jones was for Morning Bird's album release. 18, 19? It was, yeah. So that
Yeah,
was the
at
only
Mahal's, right?
yeah, the only time we played with them. So we're excited to have them all back. And
Cool.
yeah, and like the tickets are only $15. So like you're gonna see 4 amazing acts, like and a Cleveland legend in Brent Kirby for $15.
Cool.
So yeah.
It's a great night.
It's a hell of a deal. You see all the ticket issues that like Bruce Springsteen's having right now. So they have a dynamic pricing going on tickets. Ticketmaster does this. They say they're doing it to discourage people from scalping. So basically, it just figures out how much you'll pay for this ticket, and they'll charge you that. So like some of the nosebleed tickets for Bruce Springsteen are like over $1,000 for nosebleeds, and like if you want something close, it's you're paying 5 figures.
That's just crazy.
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. Like, all right, well, you could go see local bands every night and buy their merch and everything for the price of one of those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's right. And 4 awesome bands. Yeah, we've talked to Brent Kirby before.
Yeah.
Actually, tonight is the return of his 10x3.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it started like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He does the Bop
That's
Stop
right.
now.
At the Bop Stop.
Yeah.
Well, this is all kind of coming together. We've had Gabe Pollock from the director of the Bop Stop in here before and talked to
nice.
him.
Yeah. So yeah, cool.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of artists that have been at the 10x3, including myself. I've been in there with a band. I've been there as myself, and
That's such a cool venue. That's such a cool venue, man.
I actually have never been inside the Bop Stop.
it's
I
a
need to
jazz
go.
club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's set up as like the stage is like wherever is the focal point of the whole place, but it's also set up like a bar restaurant, but the whole one side of the wall and all of the tables and chairs face
Nice.
it like you see in the movies.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And even the bar that's facing away has mirrors showing, so you can
That's
see the
awesome.
stage from
Yeah.
there. Like no matter what, it's the music is where the attention goes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's such a cool place.
Yeah, mid-season 1, go back and check out our interview with Gabe. He'll tell you all about the Bop Stop. It's an amazing place.
Guy's working like 23 hours a day on that place, man. He really is.
Cool. All right. So you've recorded a new album and it's ready, right?
It's
ready.
so ready.
Cool.
Yeah.
When is it coming out?
So it is coming out August 12th. It is available for pre-order now. So you can go to ajinthewoods.com. There's a link to pre-order. We have
the vinyl
vinyls.
right here.
We have CDs. We have digital downloads. And then on August 12th, it'll be on all of the streaming services. You can download it through all those as well. But if you go through our website, it helps the little guy a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and when you do order a vinyl, you get a digital download, and when you pre-order, you get 3 tracks right away. So we wanted to give everybody that, so it's not like you're just waiting. So
That is so cool.
Yeah.
The vinyl, we've had a lot of people talking about it. Like how easily can you get your stuff done on vinyl?
So this is the second time we've done vinyl. Before the pandemic, it was 4 months. We did Got a Groove in Cleveland. It was wonderful. Everything was local. But then this year, Got a Groove, they were like, we can do a year. And I'm like, oh, that timeline is a little rough for us. So we ended up going with a company out of New Jersey, and they did a wonderful job. And we wanted to keep it Cleveland, but just with the timeline, it didn't work. So this one, they originally said 4 months. It took 6. So just with the delays of everything. But the
Cool.
quality is great. And then we had it, the lacquers done by Well Made Music, which I know that they were Cleveland, and I know the person who did it is now in Virginia, but they're like more of a local company, yeah. And then we got the CDs as well, so.
Heck yeah, this is
Right.
so cool.
Yeah,
It's
CDs
so
are
cool.
much easier to produce than the vinyls,
it's a little
but
quicker.
yeah. And then
Well,
we
kind
have.
of waited on the timing of the release to make sure that we had all these ducks in a row because
Yeah.
the timing is so unpredictable right now.
Yeah, so we didn't even contact anyone about booking a release until we had these in hand. So that was May.
Got it.
Yeah.
We got these in hand in May.
So this has been done for a while. You've been
Well,
sitting and ready to
the recording has been done for
We got it
couple
done.
years.
The masters were completely done January of 2020.
Yeah.
So we were looking to okay, let's get vinyls produced. Let's do this. So we were thinking late summer, about now,
Yeah.
fall of 2020. And then when the pandemic hit, we were like, oh well.
just
Okay, well we're gonna wait.
Put it
a
on the
little
shelf
bit.
for a little
yeah,
while.
So
it feels like a long time coming.
yeah,
it
feels
is
like-
a long
yeah.
time.
I like how your CDs still say side A and B.
Yeah, I know. we
flip
wanted to
the
keep
CD
the
over.
yeah, we wanted to keep the feel of a record, even if you didn't have it.
It's going to be so cool, though. I'm looking forward to just listening to
Yeah.
that and having something tangible
Yeah.
while I'm listening, to go along with it.
Yeah, actually, I haven't
To
held
plug,
a vinyl
yeah,
in
it's
a
to
long
plug
time.
the inside. So our first one, we did an EP and we didn't do liner notes, and everyone's like, "We want your lyrics. Please give us your lyrics." So, and then Zach, who has the camera here, actually he took every single one of those photos, even the one on the back with the. Oh no, that was so. This one with the they're like trees. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
took that one, and then he took every single one on the other
Oh,
side
You can't see it.
from us recording.
Cool.
So you're gonna get all of our lyrics when
And
you
you
go to.
take this buck too.
He did not take the buck, no.
Was-
So
Where did the I'm sorry to
Oh,
I
no,
know
no,
you were, I know
yeah.
you were finishing
No,
your
you're
thought.
good.
Where did the buck as a
That's-
logo come from?
So my good friend, her husband does design work, and when we went on tour, this was so pre-Zach. So we went on tour,
Peasy.
and we did. It was 2018, and we did Cleveland, Kentucky, Memphis, we went to Tennessee. We stopped in Nashville. We didn't play. We just visited, and then went to Memphis, and then went down to New Orleans. And there's a good story later about JC's one guitar with Mississippi. So I'll tell that one later. But so he did a tour poster. So we want to do a tour poster for us. And on that tour, I don't know if you know Madeline Finn. So
Yeah, I
used
saw
to
her in one of
Cleveland.
the pictures.
Yeah, native. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she played drums for us when we did the tour. So that was wonderful to spend a week long. And so he did this. His name's Tim Miller, and he did our tour poster, and it had this on it, right? And so it had all of this stuff, and so from there, that kind of became our logo. So he did the AJ in the Woods.
We don't
and
do
then-
a lot of video
That's,
editing.
that's okay. And then when we were in New Orleans, JC and Madeline Finn both got tattoos. Madeline got this amazing piece done. She was just you told the artist, do whatever you want to do, and it's this really, really cool kind of
Oh,
traditional
brave.
style. And JC goes, I want this. I want my tour poster. So he has that here on his wrist. And so it just kind of became a part of the band. And so our plan was just to have our design logo just have that. And so he gave us a couple different versions. And then he goes, I went a little bit off left field. And he found basically a real life version of our logo. So he was the one who did the buck in the first place. So we called it stag, or stag head.
Yeah.
And then he's the one that found that. He's the one
that was a great
font.
example of what a good graphic design person can do for you. Because we had a vision, and we're like, this is what we want it to look like. And he was like, great. What about this? And we were like, oh, that's really cool. let's do that.
Yeah, so. And we kept, we kept it small. We asked the band. We asked our producer who produced the record, like, what do you think? Just a few people. And they're like, oh, no, that one. That one's so much better. Yeah. And so that's what we went with.
Cool.
Yeah. And the reason there's a 2 on it, too. So our first one was just AJ in the Woods, self-titled. And JC wanted to, number all of them. And I'm like, we're not just going to name it one. We need to have a name. So I was like, okay, so our next one we're going to have a 2. Next one we're going to have a 3. It's just a little tag. But Stay Steady was...
Led Zeppelin already did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Van Halen. Yeah.
So
Chicago,
I don't know if you
right?
want to tell the story, because Zach named our record.
What's the story?
Oh, yeah,
I'll tell the story. So the story is basically we were trying to
I was like, that would be a good name.
Yeah, we were trying to think of a name. So, it's Stay Steady is not a name of any of our songs. We don't have a title track. Because we were like, they're all our children. We love them all equally, some of us do. Some of us may not, but...
People, especially parents, you can say that all you want, but there's one that you favor over the other one that's a little less annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was not the one.
I was not the favorite.
I was the only one for a while, and I still wasn't the one. We got to try again.
Exactly. So we couldn't figure out which song, was the title track of the record. So Buckeye, which is the first song on side B, there's a line in the bridge that's Stay Steady the course with me. And I just think you pushed it a couple times. You're like, how about Stay Steady? How about Stay Steady? I'm like, I think that's pretty good, yeah. And so he just kept nudging it when we were trying to think of something, and
I actually love how that imagery came out with
the stag.
Because it's just this still moment,
yeah.
You don't want to interrupt that,
Yeah.
Did I think you already said, where did this picture come from?
So that was found by our graphic designer from a free source online.
Yeah.
Pixels or something like that. Yeah.
I think it was Unsplash.
All right. Yeah.
Yep. Because that's how I got
familiar.
the first one. So I had a friend that helped me design our first record, and I got it from Unsplash. Yeah. So.
Cool.
I hang out on there. I got to put together marketing materials, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
I need
It
a
works
picture
great.
Of this.
So a few songs of these are reworkings of old songs, right?
That were on our EP. So the first one, Gypsy, is on our EP. So my brother, because they were up. He lives in Columbus. I have 2 brothers, but both of them were up. Gave him the record. Called my brother the other day. Just got a new job. Congratulating him. He was like, listened to the record a couple times. Fantastic, but I like the old Gypsy better. And he goes, I understand why you had to redo it. And I think because that's all he's ever listened to. And I think the big thing, he's like, the original one didn't have a chorus. It did not have a chorus at all. The new one, it has a chorus. It's for the modern listener. It's, yeah. And he's like, I get it. So Gypsy we reworked, let's see, Lakeview and Daniel.
And Adeline.
Well, Adeline, technically, we didn't. Oh, yeah, no, we did rework it, didn't we? Yeah.
I mean, it's the same basic structure, but it's re-recorded.
It's re-recorded. So Adeline doesn't have a different. Adeline sounds the most So it was a bonus track on our EP. Because at the time, JC was working with a jousting company. So they'd would go all around and do jousting. It's sad he's not here because.
I would love
He would have so many stories. So
we're gonna have to invite him back for his own episode. Just filled with jousting stories.
Yeah.
So
interviewed a medieval festival.
We did Adeline because the jousting, the guy who owned it was like, we're doing all this recording. We're gonna pitch a show to Netflix or Hulu or something. He's like, we need a theme song. So he worked on a riff. We worked on something, okay, jousting. I'm thinking, okay, like, Adeline's kind of like so the song is like you're going to die, you're going to get hung, you're going to get killed or something, and you're telling your lover not to worry. Because I'm thinking, okay, back in like the old days, you know what I mean, where people died all like early. So that's kind of how that came about. Well, the show obviously did not get picked up. Nothing happened with it, but we got a cool song. So that was how the original recording came, as like a B-side, just to like a bonus track. And then, so we went to Lava Room Recording to do our album. But before that, we worked with Mike Brown, who's the owner, who's a producer on a record. And this was like kind of through Madeline Finn, kind of helping. He's like, we're going to work on one song, kind of see how things fit. And we decided to record Adeline because we're like, we don't have a really good version of the song. And he liked the demo. And so that was the first one that we did, was our first single. So I think that's the oldest one.
Yep.
So that one's been released, right? So the
Yeah.
one that we've heard is the one on this album.
So Adeline, yes, and Home are both been released as singles. Yeah.
Cool. Home, I love, man. You can really hear your Fleetwood Mac in there.
Yeah. Thank you. And Home. Oh, will you tell them before we talk about Home? Will you tell them the story about your drum the first time we recorded?
Sure. So we went
this is
in
a good
to
one.
do this Adeline situation, bringing in the drum set, and I'm unloading the gear, right? So I put the bass drum down, and I had been playing with a front head that didn't have a hole in it.
And you were fairly new
Yeah.
to us. Like
Yeah.
he started in like April, and this was maybe in the summer.
And Mike Brown came in, like, hadn't met him yet. He just looked at me and he goes, "Do you have a different head for that?" And I was like, "Well, no. Like, this is what I have." And he was like, "Okay." So he mic'd it up, and then I don't know. He just said it sounded like a basketball, and it wasn't going to sound good. So he's like, "What can we do?" So we got out the pocket knife, and we just cut a hole in the front head.
Because he is a man of many knives. How many do you have on you right now?
Just one.
Okay. That's another story too. He always has an iPhone.
That's fine. So we cut a hole in it, and we stuck the mic in there, and it worked just fine.
Yeah,
I
so-
still have that cut up head tucked
Good.
away somewhere.
And we used literally a styrofoam bowl,
Yeah.
like one of those like cereal bowls you
Had
get
to,
in a
like, make
hotel
the
to make the thing.
Circle
And I'm thinking,
to trace it.
like he's in like the sound room, like I'm in, like just sitting there. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna quit. He's gonna quit. He's gonna quit. Please don't quit. Please don't quit. Like 'cause he was so new, and I'm like, he's so good. I don't want him to leave.
Making me cut up my stuff.
Yeah, how did you feel about that? Because I've been in arguments as a drummer with a unported front head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, man, just mic the front and then put like a 57 right by my beater,
like,
and you'll get that punch,
It
and
sounds
it'll be good.
great. Which I get, like, in the room, I always think that sounds actually really nice, and
Yeah.
it gives a little bit more sustain.
But for the recording.
But for the recording, they were like, this is how we want to do it. I was like, okay, fine. And Josh he wanted to like protect the relationship. He's like, don't start a fight about this. He's like, I'll buy you a new head. Just, can we do this? I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah. And it's like.
Did you get your new head?
I did well
Yeah,
from that point. So that was just a generic, front. And now we've gone through a couple versions of front heads designed with the logo on it, and I actually love the one that we have
The newest
right now.
one's great. So on like all of our social media, like our logo, like our profile picture is his head. So we got new photos, and I was all about like no like photos on railroad tracks because we were gonna be like right by them. Because I'm thinking like high school senior photo. I'm like, don't do it. He's like, I'm gonna do it, and he put it like in the track, and it's the most amazing shot that he took. So now we use it on everything. I was like, okay, we're not in the pictures. I'm okay with it.
Let me
But
take some pictures by
stand,
railroad
I
tracks.
stand
I've
corrected.
100% done pictures by rail. Well, we used to have a band practice room that backed up to railroad tracks, so it was like a given. We're
I
like,
don't know if like when I graduated
Do it
high
every time,
school, that
yeah,
was just
I'll
the
bet.
thing. Like everyone just got the railroad track photos to be
Yeah.
edgy.
yeah.
And I just
We'd
like,
throw
it's-
bottles at the trains that went by. We'd be in the middle of practice and be like, "Whoa, train!" Run out the door and throw bottles. Yeah, I got
We did
pictures
that
out here somewhere.
with Dennis and Chris, didn't we? Or under a bridge?
No,
or
we went
something?
under the. Well, our
it-
band was under the bridge.
It wasn't.
We
it
went under a
wasn't,
bridge.
It wasn't railroad tracks.
No, we went under the
It was a Red
Valley
Hot Chili
View
Peppers tribute.
under the Valley View Bridge.
Under the bridge.
Did,
That's
was
I don't know
Flea
what I was
shirtless?
thinking.
He
tribute
wore
band?
he wore the skeleton outfit,
Okay.
like John Entwistle
Got it.
tribute type one.
And then when Chuck Kaminsky's son filled in, he
Yes.
wore the Beanie Baby.
Yeah,
outfit,
he sewed like 100 Beanie Babies to his pants and was playing bass for
That's
us.
pretty
Let's
great.
give a
was
shout
cool.
out to Chuck Kaminsky,
Yeah.
our very first
All right,
sponsor
yeah.
of this show.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
The
once-
Basement Trader.
BASSMENT Trader. Cool old guitars, basses, other oddities. Buy, sell, trade, repairs. Quick turnaround on your setups. I think his vacation is done, so he's booking again.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Because he was through
he took
August.
took
he
a month
took
off,
the end of
yeah.
July off
Mhm.
while his son that had helped us was home before I think he's off to Colorado now for his masters.
Basement
Dropped it.
in Boulder, yeah.
Yeah.
BasementTrader.com. If you go to Reverb, he's got 2 shops. Search Basement Trader, and they'll both come up.
Yeah.
And BASSMENT.
Does he work
Trader.
on banjos?
I would
bet,
imagine
yeah.
so.
He
Yeah.
had, he
I
had a
can't
big
find
he had a
equipment.
big double bass in his basement.
I've got a
Okay,
banjo
I'm
I
gonna-
need
I'm
work
gonna
on
take
too.
this and hit it up.
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, because I have my G string, my low G doesn't like to. I have to tune it down a little bit, or else it'll like sound. I went to somewhere else. They're like, it's fine. We give you a compensated bridge. It's fine, and it like helped a little, but like it's only like. Okay.
I had a
It's a
banjo
big
once.
issue.
I had a banjo once I bought from Maddie Finn.
Nice. Nice.
I've got one that was my
coming
great
around.
grandfather's, I guess.
Oh,
I'll show it to you. It's
vintage.
upstairs. It's an old Vegaphonic from the
Can
20s.
I see it?
Yeah, I'll show you
before
after
we
the
leave?
podcast. Yeah. Yeah, I've got an old archtop Gibson from my grandpa, and then I guess this banjo
Oh,
was my
yeah.
great grandpa's.
I
I mean,
need-
it's the
Did you guys
banjo is
throw-
pretty rough.
Throw some banjo into your
So
album.
I play banjo.
Oh,
So the majority of the album has me on banjo now. So like as we write new stuff, I'm mostly on banjo. And we even have like because of the pandemic, we literally have enough to like go and write a new album. So we're already working on demos. So hopefully it won't take another, 4 years for a record instead of 2. So,
Yeah.
but everything we're writing now mostly has like, if I'm playing on it, has banjo.
Cool.
So your instrumentation for this album, you're on acoustic guitar.
So I'm on acoustic, I'm on banjo. For that, we have 2 songs that have a piano lead to it, and then
Who's the piano player?
so I feel horrible. I do not remember his name. So our producer was like, we recorded it with my guitar. He's like, I think piano would be good for this, and he sent it to his buddy. And he did an amazing job. So there's 2 songs with lead piano, and he put like Wurlitzer, like the organ, all back on a lot of it,
Oh,
like
yeah.
underneath. And then there's another thing, fiddle we have on it. This wonderful guy out of Nashville added fiddle, so it's great having Piper, who does backup and fiddle. So she's playing those parts now for us. But yeah, so it's electric guitar. We have some like 2 different kind of guitar tracks on there, like a lead and a rhythm. Banjo, fiddle, drums, bass. We even have mandolin. We have piano. We have some cello.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, depending on the song. So, yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
And we like our big goal with this record was, so like our first record was like we needed something recorded because people were like, do you have any recording? Like we're not gonna book you unless you have something recorded. So like we did the local Cleveland recording. It like served us so well for what we needed, and so we grew in that time. And now it's like we wanted something to like take us to the next level. We wanted something with like a national sound, something that'll help us with placements and commercials, TV, like something that you can play on Spotify, you can hear on the radio. And I'm so happy you love home, because like it was a completely different song when we started it, and like that and Gypsy we actually ended up redoing because we were like listening to, as we like were working on it, we're like, there's something not right about it, and we went back and re-recorded both of them, and I think that like shows the process of like how much we grew during this, and then now as we write again to like use that to like as a springboard to like we're gonna write better songs, we're better songwriters, we're better just knowing how certain things work together and how they're going to work on recordings as well, because sometimes it was just like, oh, this sounds cool. Okay, let's just play it that way, and not thinking how that's going to serve other instruments. And
we didn't go into the studio and just knock out, like, so just play the song and have it done. It was an experience of getting to work with the producer and say, what should these songs sound like? We had a starting point, but it was what is going to serve the song and make it sort of the best version of itself. Yeah. And we added those things, even if they're not, the part of the normal. The core.
Yeah. So then we can still play the core, make it sound good, but then when we really need to, bring everybody in and, serve, like, so our plan is to, like, when you hear on the 20th and you come to House of Blues, you're going to pick up that record and it's going to sound like that, when you hear it on stage. And we had a practice on Monday, and it was fantastic because our keyboard player was there, and I'm just like, this is just what we've been missing, it fills so much. And we had backup singers, and Neha, who's doing backup for us, like, she was in the studio, so she's on the record. And so she was singing her parts. And I'm like, this is amazing. And I remember, like, we did just a short, like, backup practice before the full band practice. And I'm like, you remember everything perfectly. She's like, you drilled it into my head. I'm like, well, you have to do it, 20 times to, like, get the right take. And that was her first experience in, like, a professional studio. And it was wonderful to, like, be able to share that with her. And she's a phenomenal singer and so talented. And she's played Women Rock CLE with us. And that's how, we got connected with her. So.
Cool. Yeah. Does she sing in any other groups or anywhere else we could hear?
She is in. Oh my God! I have to look. Oh my God, I feel horrible.
Oh, you can
listening.
look things. People
I'm
look
gonna
things
pull up
up.
my
It's
phone
okay.
Because
or we can just cut that part out. Cut.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll cut for real.
Yeah.
Even Memento.
I totally trust you guys.
I don't think we've ever cut one thing out. Maybe one or two things out.
We've cut whole episodes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
all or nothing.
It was a train wreck.
I don't have service, so.
Oh, well. What's her name? I'm connected to that one.
Neha.
Go back to your bass drum heads. Where do you get the custom heads done from?
Drum art.
Drum art?
Yep.
Okay. I use Vintage Logos. They've been good, too. And I believe they're out of Cincinnati. But they've done a number for me. Yeah, drum art's very cool. Do you get to design it on your page?
Yeah. And so
I forgot
you put the, we've got our logo, right, as the center of it. And then that latest bass drum has actually a picture from my woods kind of superimposed on the back of it. So you see leaves coming in from the kind of the edges. And we did it as a translucent head so that you can put LEDs inside and have it lit up nice.
Yeah, I love doing that too. I got the same thing. The drum lights are cool as hell.
Yeah. We don't have service.
Oh, that's fine.
That's okay.
We'll maybe put it in the info.
You put it in the info.
Yeah.
Put it in the info.
Cool. Let's talk about the formation of the band.
Sure.
So I know you guys started as a duo. You guys were emerging at the same time. I was in a Cleveland band that was playing a lot. New Moon Rising.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So JC and I met. So we both went to Baldwin Wallace College. Nice. Now Baldwin Wallace University. Yeah. Didn't meet each other, but we knew we had similar friends. And so it was like 2011-ish. And my one friend who was living, she's now in LA, but she was in Cleveland at the time. She was having a birthday party. And so she invited him. I was there with my other friend. I remember I had a broken foot. So it was like February. It was in Little Italy above Corbo's Bakery. So like I remember just like crutching, with my roommate Hannah at the time, and crutching up the stairs. And so I met him there, and then we just became Facebook friends. And then he had like played with like some other bands, and it's been like maybe it was like a year or two later, and we were just like, this social media friend. And then we ended up, started doing open mics. So like I had done some solo stuff, and then I was working on like writing my own music, and then I did a duo with somebody else for a little bit, and then that kind of fizzled out. And so I was looking for somebody to play with, but I'm like, gonna do my own thing. So I went to an open mic at the Eastland Inn in Berea. And then JC showed up, and he just did instrumental. And so we got to talking because we had met before. And then he's like, well, why don't you just come over and jam, just see what happens. And then we ended up, I remember going over and jamming, and it just worked so well. So like we started off playing, like I did my original music, and then he wrote his guitar parts with it. And it worked really well, and that's how we started playing. And then it morphed into, he starts writing a riff, and then I go, oh, this sounds like a verse, or oh, this sounds like a chorus. And then I would craft it into a song, and I would say, okay, this is the chorus, now write me a bridge. And then I would add lyrics to it. And that kind of has started from there. So that's like our writing process is he's like, here, listen to this, and he'll send me a recording, or we'll be like working on something together, and then I'll put it on my phone. And then I'll go back and try to write a melody. Usually the words always come last. It's always about the music first. And we just started doing that ourselves. And then we added, so our good friend Anthony Bonacore, who is not a bass player, but we like coerced him to playing bass with us for a little bit. So he played bass, so then we were just a 3-piece. And then we added a drummer, and his name was Nick, and he did great. And he was in another band at the time too, so he played with us for about a year, and that was when we were like just a 4-piece, and we were really trying to like form our sound. So JC is such a like blues and like old school rock, classic rock sort of guitar player. And at that point, I was like kind of still singer-songwriting, kind of trying to figure out, who I was. And like I loved the like bluegrass sort of like, I guess now they call it newgrass sound of like Punch Brothers and like Sarah Juarez. I can never say it was Juarez or Juarez, but like I love that whole tone to things. And I didn't even start playing the banjo until after AJ and the Woods started. I always wanted to. And then I got the banjo rolling. And then when Nick left, we had Zach, which like to me that is like the next step. Like that was when things really started to get rolling. So we did your first show with us was So Far Sounds.
Yep.
And we had to be really quiet because we were too loud for So Far Sounds. And it was at like an old firehouse in Lakewood. It was a really cool spot. And then after that,
It was a fun show.
Yeah. And then
Where'd you move from? You said you
Baltimore. Came up here for work.
Great.
So they took the Browns and we took you.
Yeah. Sounds about an even trade, right?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Even
yeah.
Steven.
Maybe we came out on time.
Nobody in Baltimore talks about that. All they talk about is the Colts leaving.
I believe it.
So
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Zach came, and then Anthony ended up like he's a guitar player. So like he's like, I don't want to play bass. So like he went on tour with us. We had Madeline Finn. I think you were new, and that's why we had Maddie go on tour with us.
Yeah, I had just started playing with you for a couple
That
of months,
summer,
and I wasn't like, I'm totally going on a week-long tour with you guys. My
So-
wife was signing right up for that.
Yeah. And at that point, like all of us were still at that stage where we could just like go for a week and do that. And then Anthony, he was always like rhythm guitar, like actually he makes these amazing tones and stuff. So like the beginning of Home, when you hear like the guitar starts and there's like this like kind of country twang in an electric like Telecaster, that's straight Anthony. He wrote that part. He did great. And then like he just wanted to end up like doing his own thing. So like he was with us in the studio. It was wonderful. So Anthony is now doing his own thing. And then we've gone through like a cycle of bassists. But on the record his name is Kurt Anschutz.
Yep.
And he is in the band Easton Union, which you should definitely have on your show because they're great. They're from Akron, if you haven't already. And so he started as like I'm going to help you out because our bassist we had for like 3 months like quit on us randomly. He was like, I got this guy for you though. I got this guy for you. It's fine. And Kurt was like, we'll help you out. I'll help you out. And he ended up playing for us for like a year and a half and being on a record. and which was more than he ever needed to do. So it was great to have him. And so now we have Jeremy from Morning Bird, and like Jeremy is an amazing person to have in the band. He adds like a nice, even just like personality wise, he adds a nice like roundness. He's so like, his satire and like dry sense of humor, because somebody's like, are you serious? Are you not serious? But it works well. And then Piper.
This isn't the first time we've like heard about them.
Yeah.
Like from
Yeah.
guests.
Exactly,
At Morning
yeah.
Bird. Yeah.
And then Piper, who's now doing fiddle and backup. So she graduated from Baldwin Wallace in like May this past year. Yeah. So JC is the manager of Front Street Social. And so.
Me and Chuck have played up there at
Yeah.
Up and Jam.
Yeah, we
before,
have.
Yeah, so he's the manager of Front Street Social, and so she, because a BW student, we're always coming all the time, there's all these students, and so she was like, I want to be in a band, I want to do this, like this type of music I like, and I remember him calling me, he's like, I have a fiddle player, because we had it on the record, so he knew we needed a fiddle player. He's like, she'll sing backup, she'll do fiddle, it'd be great. And we got her first, so February of 21, or was it 20? It was 21. Yeah. We did this benefit. It was height of COVID. We were at Beachland Ballroom, and it was a benefit that Dave Ziggy put on to help one of his students help get a service dog. It's a dog for Diego, and that was the first thing that she played on. And she sang, and like
we had Ziggy on here just right after that event, like maybe 3 weeks
cool.
after
Yeah,
that
I was
event.
so
And then
happy
he was
to get his
hosting
dog.
the jam
Yeah.
night that we went to.
What?
And he hosted the jam night
That's
we went
right.
to.
Yeah, I think he's actually
Social,
hosting Front
yeah.
Street tonight. So, and that was her first show, and she did phenomenal. And it's so great because like now, like, it's really cool for me being the lead singer to like be able to go, like, there's sometimes I'm like, Piper, you're gonna sing lead, you know, like to be able to like hand it off and like see that like growth and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really good dimension.
Yeah.
And the fiddle parts are like on the album. It's a lot of
Yeah.
the accent pieces, and to be able to have that consistently is great.
It's great.
We hear that on some of the tracks that are released already, right?
Yeah. Yeah, on home.
Again, it's April 12th. I mean, sorry, August.
August
12th.
August
We're in
12th.
August.
Yeah, we're
So-
flying through, man.
August 12th is when the album drops. The following week, the 20th, that Saturday is House of Blues. Yeah, and so having her, so that's kind of how we are now.
Was she a music
Alright, so
major
that's-
at BW?
Yep, music
She
theater.
probably knows Jacob because Jacob was he played double bass for BW and
Oh, you mean
graduated
Chuck
last year.
Kaminsky from Basement Traders' son.
Yes, absolutely. Who filled in for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's music theater, so she might go off and do a show and sometime, you know,
Yeah.
be on Broadway. But for the time now we have her, it's wonderful. Yeah, so that's kind of like how we are now. And one of the reasons, like, is I know he's like Zach's not a technical founding member, but to me he's a founding member because like when
Yeah,
he
you said
started,
core.
yeah, when he started, it's like when we started, really like you've been there for everything.
I'll take credit for it.
We played like just walking out in the heat today reminded me of when we played. It was like on the border of like.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like, what's the Ashtabula County? It was like right on the
Yeah.
border, and it's this huge like mansion that like used to be a hotel, and it's like decrepit, and they're trying to like build it back up to like its glory. And there was like benefit concerts in the summer, and it was just JC and I and Zach was in the gazebo, and you had a fan.
I had a fan, a little bit of shade.
And JC and I were in the sun in 90-degree heat, just like, and I remember after the second song, I was like, I gotta take a break. Like, I'm gonna pass out. I gotta take a break. But like,
Just old people sipping wine, looking at
yeah,
us.
and he's been there for like, so we played Fox 8 last Friday in the morning show, and like, Zach always goes, we always play the most interesting shows. Like, we did
A lot of weird gigs.
furniture store. It was
Sleeping Larry's.
Action 19
It was Norton
News.
Furniture.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like during Operation Backpack. Like this was something that when Anthony was with us, he helped us get because he knew someone he worked with. And so like it was Operation Backpack, and we played a Levin furniture store, and like it was during their break, and then the weatherman was like strumming my guitar. It was crazy. So like we've done that.
Yeah, the guy in a bird costume took my stick and started hitting stuff.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of the weird gigs we've done. We've done that. we played at the Renaissance Fair, like during the fair, but I don't know if that was you. But then
During the jousting?
it was not during the jousting. But we have like the most amazing fans down in Southern Ohio. And the guy that does all of our straps, and we have these really cool leather tooled, like handmade flask holders, and he makes those. His name is Chip Brown. He's a Brown Cow Arts, and he's part of the Renaissance Fair. You can find him online too.
Cool.
But we always play. They have like a thing in October, and so we go down and we play that, which is really fun.
It's a great time. So it's the after the Renaissance Fair is over. You're just hanging out with the workers and playing for them. It's a really cool time.
And it was the first group of people who sang my songs back to me, and I like didn't know who they were. Like, you're friends. I'm like, okay, whatever, you're my friend. Like, you need to like it. But like, I don't know who you are yet, and you like my music, and you sang it back to me, and it was the most amazing feeling in the world. And now, obviously, I know them, they're my friends, and I love them, but like, they're the best people. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of the other weird gigs we played. The Firehouse, your first gig.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
That's
been so
like high
nice.
It's an
school
important
sports
threshold,
thing.
like a milestone moment as a musician, just to go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played a fundraiser for like in Zanesville for like a high school sports, because we would go down and like play this like pizza/brewery, and the lady was like, "You guys are the best band we've ever heard. Will you play our thing?" We're like, "Sure."
All right.
So yeah, we played lots of random things.
We played one song that was like a dancing song, and we were like trying to get people to come out because it was a little bit of a dull crowd. So some people came out and they started dancing, and we were like, "Hey, we have them. They're dancing. This is great. Change up the set. Let's do what's another dancing song? Great. Let's do that one." And we started that to try to keep the energy going, and everybody just went and sat down. And we're like, "Okay, that's how it's gonna be. That's fine."
Yeah. They all have teenagers.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes you try.
Yeah. We did a
Yeah.
morning show once. Remember that? We played
time did
the
you get up?
opening of Stella's.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Stella's Music Club. Or whatever.
Oh yeah, we played there.
Stella's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
That was short-lived.
It was. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
We played at like 6 in the morning.
Something like that.
5:30,
Yeah, playing
something
Chili
like
Peppers
that.
at 6 in the morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Full costume.
The only way I was able to do it is I didn't go to sleep at night to like carry the energy over into the morning.
Oh my god.
I remember
Stella's. I
you
forgot.
remember Chris's bass move on that, where he acted like he was like
Oh yeah.
jerking off on the deck on the 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's
news
good.
show.
That's good family news programming right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stella's
Foxy was a great time.
Stella's is great. Was
Yeah,
great.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played there once, and they were fairly new.
Yeah, bad timing.
It
Or
just-
else
yeah,
that
the
could have been that would
pandemic
have been a
just-
real
What are you
nice
gonna do?
success story.
Yeah. Had a great location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right off the highway.
Yeah, because we played a gig there when there was like before an Indians game. It was fantastic. Everybody popped in and then went to the game.
And then there was like a band after the game, right?
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
played
that's
from
very
like 8 to 10, and then like
Just speaking of Indians/Guardians,
Guardians,
so another one of our backup singers is going to be Gab Cruz, who is the in-game host of the Guardians. So she hosted Woman Rock Celia for us for a couple times, so she's actually going to sing backup for us now too.
Oh,
So
very cool.
Yeah. So just those, yeah.
What'd she do for the
That'd be
Guardians?
So she's like the
in-game
in-game host. So like when you're like in the game and you're like you see on the big monitor and she like talks to people.
Doing
and,
the
like,
trivia
Oh, the
and stuff like
contests,
that.
the
Yeah.
giveaways, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's a fantastic singer. I think she's played with a couple other. She's like sang for a couple other bands around the area, and yeah, we're so happy to have her.
We had Slider on bongos.
Do they still have Slider? I haven't been
I don't
to a
know. That's a
Guardians
good
game
question.
yet. I need to like.
I
would-
don't
I
see.
would
I
think
don't see
so.
why not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause,
Slider
yeah,
didn't
he's
have
just-
anything
he's just-
to do with the
he's
last.
just
It wasn't
Slider.
It's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
There was a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, but back when I was in middle school,
makes
that our art teacher
Maybe
was
that
dating
person.
Slider. So they, during middle school, everybody said that our art teacher was dating Slider, and like we would ask her, and she wouldn't say anything. So I still don't, to this day, do
Maybe.
not know if it's true or not.
She didn't deny it then.
Yeah,
My
I'd be suspicious.
always
I
thought-
doubt it's the same guy in the costume
Oh yeah,
as it was.
yeah.
I think they changed.
Getting
Yeah.
up there in the years, man, because he came probably like '94, something like that.
Yeah, he came with Jacobsfield.
Yeah, so that'd be '94.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a mascot for a
they're
volleyball team here coming up soon.
Oh, really?
They asked me to. It's just that like our work is doing a volleyball team.
What's your mascot? Are you in like a full
I
costume?
have a bunch of costumes, so I'm just going to change it up every week. It's more about harassing the other team. It's the
Can
way
I,
I'm
like-
looking at it.
I need to be there for this. This sounds amazing.
I've got a penguin costume ready, a banana. I've got Duff Man, so we'll be changing it out every once in a while.
I think so. Back in my young days, I went to Warped Tour. And one of the bands that they all came out, like someone was a banana costume, someone was in a shark costume. I think it was Hello Goodbye. So you could just like do a costume band.
I went to one of those Warped Tours. I remember I was like 25 and I felt way too old to be there.
I was
like
probably
25.
19 at that point. I couldn't drink yet.
The
I can tell you that.
My Warped Tours were 16 and 17.
The wind kicked up at this one, and like it was lifting the tent up like crazy, and everybody went like to their parents' cars. And me and my buddy were like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
Yeah,
We
that's
just-
yeah. That's
we felt so
fun.
old and grizzled at
Yeah.
25.
All right. Let's move on to you guys as musicians. How long have you been playing for? What got you started? What are some of your influences? Start with Zach.
I feel like I talk
So,
all the time.
Getting tired of her voice.
I like to-
Yeah, I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much.
playing drums forever. I was the kid walking around the house just like hitting stuff, and my mom was like, "Let's channel this energy." Bless her, she was willing to have a drum set in the house. So, did the whole marching band thing all through high school and college, and was like president of the band in college. I was deep in it, and then
Solid.
What was your instrument in marching band?
Clarinet. I don't talk about it. I don't play it anymore.
And then, just in variety of bands along the way. When kids first came along, they like put a pause on it. But then moving here, actually, I kind of said I'd like to get back into that, find a good group. There was a group I played with for just a little bit. That was like more of a indie folk kind of a thing. But that frontman moved. And so I was looking around again and found you guys, luckily.
We found him on Craigslist.
That's how we met.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that 2 non-murder stories of Craig.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Success.
It worked out real well.
Who were you playing with before? What was that act called?
Dr. Scott's Electric Hairbrush.
All right.
That is a cool
Yeah.
name.
It was
Sounds
good.
like a
They're actually
Muppet band.
really good musicians.
Who's
It was
Dr.
fun.
Scott?
It was Scott was the front man.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he just I don't know wanted to go
What
with
was
it a little wild.
The Muppet Band was it Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem,
Yeah.
I think, right?
But influences, I listened to a lot of like Darren Jesse, who is the drummer for Ben Folds 5. So he's more of a like jazz pop kind of a thing, and that's like I play in a rock band. I don't really consider myself a rock drummer.
But you do so well.
Thank you. But like I hadn't really done. This is the hardest,
He adds
music
so
that I had done.
much that we wouldn't think of as a standard rock drummer.
It's from not being a rock.
Yeah, it's from not being a rock
100%.
drummer because we
Oh,
had a rock
that
drummer
works-
before.
That works so
And
well.
it was so loud and just like loud and angry and whatever. And it was, it was what it was. But like, he adds so much finesse and like, there's like that. Some of the songs like they're more delicate. They need more finesse. Like it needs not just 4/4 insane. And I don't know anything about drums, but I know that like Zach adds so much to like. He
Probably
adds,
with the dynamics.
yeah,
right?
he adds so much to like the dynamics and like the certain little things he plays and like
ghost notes
and it's so nice because like there's this one song that we don't have recorded and we only do it as like an ending fun jam. It's called I Don't Care, and like there's a thing where like he does like a triplet, and so then I do it on my guitar, and it's like so fun. It's the only time I get to like kind of like be a rhythm and not sing because I sing for the first half. Of the second half we let JC just like wail on his guitar, so I get to like actually like work with Zach and like jam together on that front, and I like stand on his bass drum, which you haven't yelled at me yet
Oh,
for.
right.
Haven't yelled
And
at
like and like kind
Right
of make
on.
a show out of
If you
it.
break something, then we'll have to talk. But
Yeah.
it's going okay.
I'm not that happy. I'm okay.
But no, the
You kick the hole in the instead of
Yeah, I kick a hole. I won't kick a hole.
we don't
in
need a
your,
knife. We
yeah.
have a boot. I think that the drums' job is to support the song, right? And not to like take it over.
Yeah. He does a great job.
Thank you.
Tip
So-
for any drummers that happen to have singers and guitar players standing on your bass drum. If you get the clear bra material for cars and put it on your front hoop, you can't tell it's there. You can cut the seams where
nice.
your claws cover.
Yeah.
And it will protect it perfectly. There's actually one on this bass drum hoop right here.
I am going to take a look.
Has a clear bra on it. You can't tell, and then you could peel it up if it gets all scuffed up and doesn't mess
That's
with your
great.
lacquer.
So Allison puts her boot up there every once in a
Yeah.
while. It's fine. This gig we just played at in Chardon, we did Love Fest.
Yeah.
JC, he often plays with
yeah.
no shoes on.
Often. He
or
always
socks on.
plays with no shoes.
So his feet get just absolutely disgusting. And he was like, I'm going to put my gross, dirty, gnarly foot on your
Mine are at least semi
bass drum. It's so bad. So
You have a good
I
picture.
prefer the
you
boot.
got a great picture.
Now
of
you
it.
got to polish them down
I
with
think it's on our
Tenactin.
socials too, or it's on yours. Yeah, so my history. So I started playing piano at 6 years old. So I started with piano, and like I grew up in like a very religious family. So we always went to church. So I did church choir. I did all of that stuff. And then high school, so middle school, I started. Beer swap. I started playing. I played the clarinet. And my mom will not, she might not watch this, but she might. But I swear I wanted to play the trombone or the drums. And she told me I had to play the clarinet or the flute. And so I picked the clarinet because it was the least girly. So I did clarinet. I haven't touched it since I graduated high school. But I did do clarinet. But I did piano from 6th grade all the way to senior year. I was actually I got into Baldwin Wallace. I was scheduled to get into this conservatory, do my audition. And then like 2 weeks before, it was like, or maybe 2 days before, it was just like, I had like a meltdown. I was like, I can't do this. It was so stressful, like practicing, so I canceled. So I was like, I'm already in the college. I'll figure out what I want to do. So I ended up being an arts management major. But in college, I think that was the right move just because piano was not my, like, piano got me into music, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Like, I'm a vocalist. I sing. That is what I do. And then in college, I was a music minor, an arts management major. So I did voice, and then I taught myself guitar. So I started teaching myself guitar, started writing my own songs in high school, and then on the piano, which were like not very good. And then once I figured out guitar, I started doing that. And yeah, it just kind of like went off from there. And then, like I said, 2016, I started teaching myself the banjo because I've always loved it. Growing up, I was definitely in the Warped Tour, pop punk, brand new. Like, they were my favorite band. Loved old school Fall Out Boy. Old school, first 2 albums. That sort of thing. And then I had a friend. So it was like right when I started college, but I knew him from high school. He introduced me to the Avett Brothers. And that got me onto that like folk journey. It was like the gateway drug, I call it, because it was the Emotionalism album,
It's
which
so good. Yeah.
was the second album I bought on vinyl. The first one was Punch Brothers, but that's another story. So it was just like,
I think everybody should have a favorite Avett Brothers song.
yeah, oh my God, like that album was everything I needed in college. It was just with the banjo and like it had that like punk sort of vibe, but it was folky. And so then I moved from there, and then my roommate after college introduced me to the Punch Brothers. And that was like what got me from Avett Brothers to the Punch Brothers, and then got me into that like, newgrass sort of stage. And I think I'm a vocalist. I'm learning the banjo. I'm learning the banjo. Like I'm a banjo player, but I'm learning. It's a very hard instrument, but vocals, like singing is where it's at. And like that sort of, I think that's what makes AJ in the Woods cool is like we have that like rock, heavy electric guitar, but then like the vocals and like the other instruments have that sort of bluegrass sort of sound to it. And so when we say we blend folk, blues, and rock, like we really do. And like we had...
I know a lot of people talk about like a unique mix or whatever, but I honestly feel that way about this band. I really
we should
how
do
it
a
comes
show together. I'm in an East Side band called Rust Belt Ragtops. We kind of do the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool. And like we get placed with country bands, we get placed with rock bands, we get placed with like, you know, so many different people. And that's what I think makes it, it's like nice, it makes us unique. And sometimes it's a challenge because we're like, where do you fit? But I'm hoping that like helps us cut through the noise, because I think with the social media age, one of the hardest things for us is like, how do you cut through the noise? How do you get yourself heard? And it's, you want to be different, but you don't want to be different enough, and it's challenging. And I think it's like how do we be ourselves and be true to ourselves musically, but also cut through that noise and not just be like everybody else. And I really think this album, Stay Steady, does that for us.
Yeah. For everyone out there asking themselves the same question, there's 100 different answers, and it all depends on what your goal is.
Yeah, and I think through this record, we've figured out our writing style. We've figured out how to work stuff. Like, there's a song that literally, Happiness, which we haven't played too often, but I want to get it back into rotation, and which has an ironic name because it's a very rock song. And so it's a new one we wrote during the pandemic, and like, I remember like JC sent both of us a video of him literally in like a penguin costume, like onesie, because we like couldn't see each other because everyone was like stay at home. He sent it to us, and then you wrote drums.
All right, I'm going to correct you on this.
Oh.
So
Fine.
it started with, I was super bored during the pandemic.
Okay.
And I actually laid down like 4 drum beats. I was like, I need to get this stuff out of my head. And I sent it to JC. And then he locked onto that one. And then he sent back the video of him in a penguin costume. Yeah. So we put that back and forth, and we're like, hey, there's actually something here.
Yeah. And then they sent it to me, and then I worked on lyrics, and it was a nice like trio. It was like our first, I think it was the first time like the 3 of us wrote something together. And hopefully it'll be on our record number 3.
Nice. Which you're already working on, right?
Which we're already working on, yeah.
Yeah, it is nice to have we feel like we've got the stable of new songs there. You know, they need the tweaking and the finishing, but.
Yeah, so like in the album release party on the 20th, we're going to play the entirety of the new album, and then we're going to do some of our new stuff that hasn't been recorded yet. So you're literally going to hear the first half of the album in order, and then we're going to kind of break it down, you know, to the core, and then we're going to do a couple of the new songs, and then we're going to bring everybody back on stage, have a big old party, finish it off, and then hopefully have an encore. People want one.
Cool.
So cool.
What are some covers you guys do?
Well,
If any.
Oh.
The mainstay is Johnny Cash. We play Folsom.
Folsom
right? That's always there.
is like, to me, it's like one of our songs now, because we always do Folsom. People love it.
In the style of AJ in the Woods.
In the style of AJ in the Woods. It's cool because when JC does the like guitar solos, because there's 2 in it, and like the first one, like he starts it off like as it is, and then he kind of morphs it into his own, and the second one he just goes crazy. And then we do
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think those Chili Peppers songs, I didn't play any of his note for note, did I?
No,
Like
that's the way to do it. The main
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah.
Like you hit the theme of it.
The theme.
and
That's what
neat.
covers are all about. It's like kind of your interpretation.
Yeah, if you want, if people want to play exactly, like, if you want to hear exactly what it is, there's cover bands that'll do that. But, like, we're an original band who plays covers occasionally, depending on the length of the set and what we need.
One of my favorites is Little Black Submarines by Black Keys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's it's one of those ones that's scary because it's like you got to do it well, but it is fun.
It scares the guys because of like the complexity of the instrument, like instrumentation, but like vocally, it's one of the funnest ones for me to sing because of the range. Because I will I'll do an octave higher in certain spots, and then when I really need to belt, it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
So we do that. One thing people like, depending on the crowd, like Tennessee whiskey, like we're doing something with like more of a country crowd. Love it.
It's a banger. It feels like 7 minutes.
It's
great.
great. It's long, and we
You
can make it
can-
long.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, it's rare for us to do a half-an-hour show now, but we do them occasionally, and it's like when we did Love Fest, it was 30 minutes. We're like, oh, this is so short, and then like we're used to playing like 3-hour,
Yeah.
bar gigs.
Oh, Love Fest is great.
It was wonderful.
We had Leah
Yeah, it
Mara
was cool.
on here.
She
That's
is
where
the
played
most wonderful person.
before us, yeah.
Yeah, that's the town I grew up in, and
Oh,
great.
that was like where Love Fest is, just a 3-minute walk from my house.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
And
such a nice square.
Yeah, this is the first year I didn't get to make it up there. I've actually done this. I've played there a couple times, and I've done the stage managing before too.
Oh, okay.
Love Fest, the best free event on the east side of Cleveland in the summer.
100% agree.
Chardon,
And
Ohio.
like Leah Mara, like in the Dreamcatchers this year, like I hadn't heard them in a while. Like blew me away because they had that like again the bluegrass sound.
Yeah,
like,
I like this sound that she brought. Yeah.
Wow, it was fantastic.
I was talking to her afterward about like
Yeah.
how she kind of adjusted things over
Yeah.
time, and that's where they've ended up right now. I was like, what you presented was really nice.
Yeah, and
Because
like
she used to do a rock band.
Yeah.
The Tom Catley's in Love Fest every year.
and just seeing like the growth of like our friends and other musicians has been wonderful because I think COVID has like it made people grow. Like there's people either dropped out and they're like, you know what, I'm done with music, I'm gonna do something else, or they push themselves to take that time to grow and do something new and exciting. And they're still true to themselves. Like, I feel like Leah Mara is still true to like her core, but like what she's doing now is fantastic.
Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, one of the her boyfriend was playing banjo or electric guitar in that band, or like something not as gravy, But his other band, Grav, they're great. They're one of our first
Heard of them, yeah. I haven't seen them,
guests
but
we
heard
had
them.
on the
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
And they're like a jam collective of some great
They'll
musicians.
be playing this Saturday.
And, this episode will be out already. Yeah.
Well,
But, I'm
for
playing.
you guys. For the rest
This Saturday is Jerry Garcia's 80th birthday, and so there's a Grateful Dead festival in Fairport, and I'm actually playing with the Rust Belt Ragtops,
Oh, nice.
and then
Nice.
Grav right after us, who is the shares a member with the Dreamcatchers.
And we'll finally get one of these damn rig rundowns.
Finally,
Yes,
yeah.
you need a-
we'll
yes,
be we'll
you
be
need a
out
good
there
rig
doing
rundown.
more videos. Finally expanding our YouTube channel. You out
Expanding
there,
the
you'll see more
parameters.
stuff from us very soon. We've been talking about it since like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably
This
with
is
that Grav.
37,
Yeah.
36.
Well, I
Yeah.
ordered the microphones to be able to do that back in December, and then they were back ordered.
Well, Josh Bailey is backlining the amp. I'm going to play out of his 65 Fender,
Yes.
and so as soon as I unplug, we'll do the video real
Oh.
quick, and then they'll play.
I'll come early for sound check.
Okay, perfect.
Bring
That's
everything.
perfect.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
Can't really plug that show right now. It'll be over.
It'll be over.
By the time this comes out. But next year,
But-
we'll do the same
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
You know.
That's another great free place they put on music in Fairport Harbor.
Yeah.
Right on the lake.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be playing by the lighthouse there.
Yeah, there's a lighthouse on top of
The,
the
the
hill.
little
you know?
the little one. Yeah.
The little one
Yeah.
on top of the hill, and so the stage is set up at the bottom of the hill.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
They do a reggae fest in July, and then the
Yeah.
Grateful Dead fest in.
Nice.
I got to play the one in July too.
Is it like a
with,
mini Put-in-Bay kind of?
No.
Or is it different?
No, it's just
No.
kind of.
Just thinking of lighthouses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it just
no,
kind of
Put-in
goes up-
Bay, Put-in
yeah.
Bay is just a huge party.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this
Fairport's
is
just
a
a
little
small
city.
town. Yeah,
Little-
a small town
little
that's
town
right on the
town.
river, the Grand River.
Yeah.
Opposite side of where like the Headlands Beach is in Menor. Yeah, a little lighthouse there. Their beaches actually charge you money to park there.
Well, it's always been that way, right?
Yeah, yeah. Keeps the riffraff out.
It keeps the riffraff
riffraff.
walking.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Those are some of the best beaches in Cleveland, way on the east side.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And then go to Scooter's Hot Dogs when you're done, because that place is fantastic. Yeah. I know I'll be stopping there.
All right, let's get back to the music here.
I just keep taking us off on tangents all night.
It happens.
Oh, good.
Well, let's thank a couple more of our sponsors here. Listen CLE. At listencle.com, you can find 9 mood-based playlists made of all Northeast Ohio artists.
See, I don't know any of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I need to listen to this too.
Absolutely, get on there. They have an artist.
Mood-based.
They have an artist database as well that can serve as your EPK. And a lot of the local venues are looking to this for booking acts. It's got all the right questions that the venues are actually asking about, like what your stage setup is, what kind of power outlets you need, whether you're able to downsize from a 10-piece band down to a 2-piece band, things like that.
Cool.
And
Taking all of your...
all around great people. They're also been sponsoring Sunday shows at the Rock Hall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I was going to go down... George Chase was supposed to be there like 2 weeks ago on my anniversary, and then he canceled at the last minute, so we didn't end up going, and I got sick, so it was just a bummer anniversary.
Oh, man. Well,
Yeah.
always next year.
There's always next year, I hope.
That's just,
If
yeah.
I don't get the...
Just like all the Cleveland sports teams.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into
more-
Cleveland Versus here
Yeah, let's talk about
because this
That
is
I
out
do
now
know.
as this is going on, but they have put together a fundraiser here of AC/DC cover songs. So it's the volumes 3 and 4 of Cleveland Versus, all AC/DC cover songs from 32 different bands, and they're raising money to fight human trafficking in Cleveland. So if you're interested in this, you can go to clevelandversus.org. You can buy CDs. You can make donations. We've had some of the bands on this have been guests on the show.
And future guests.
And future guests, yeah. We've got the Sublets on there. Who else do we got
Apostle
on there?
Jones.
Apostle Jones is on there. I just went and saw him the other week playing a small show. It was great. He's playing this little old, like 70s Casio keyboard.
Oh,
that's
It
cool,
sounded
yeah.
so cool.
Let's also thank Enlightenment Event Lighting. Brian and Emily Klemonik, light designers for your stage lighting or for your events. If you want to add that to your show, they do an amazing job.
Yeah. What if you want some aerial photography done? Who should we go to
You
for
should
that?
go to jonesdronescle.com and contact Russell Drones for commercial
Next-
drone services focused on creative solutions with drone repairs. Drone photography is his biggest thing. Check out his YouTube channel,
He
Jones
also does-
Drones.
He also does lessons.
And lessons. He'll
yeah.
do repairs, so he'll get you good gear to do it with too.
Help
And
you get a license.
his most famous thing was the footage for TNT for the NBA All-Star game.
I thought it was going to be saving a drowning man from the Cuyahoga River. He did that as well.
That's
Spotted
extra
someone
impressive.
drowning in the river with his drone.
Unfortunately,
while he was practicing.
way more people care about the NBA.
I care more about the Drowning Man. at
Well,
least.
thank
Yeah.
you. All right, we've
Well,
got
Sorry,
some
I'm sorry
humans
for the
among us.
sports people out there.
He
but-
did think it was a dog at first.
I mean, just any sort of creature.
Yeah,
You
drowning in
save
the
another
river.
creature. That's good.
So he's done that.
All right. Well, thank you again to all of our sponsors. If you're interested in having your product or services advertised,
Especially alcohol, beer, things of that nature.
that's right. Yeah, send us a 6-pack of your beer or liquor, and we'll talk all about it.
Right in front of the camera up there.
I'll drink it too.
Yeah, I would put this Cleveland bourbon whiskey up there. Well, I still will, but I bought it myself. And
good.
call us Cleveland whiskey.
Yeah. We like you.
There's good people at Cleveland.
Yeah, very, very good people. We know them.
All right. Cool. So we have AJ and the Woods in studio with us today. For those who've lost track, we got an album coming out this week.
Yep.
We've got an album release party at the House of Blues with Brent Kirby, Apostle Jones, and the Morning Bird. Yeah, who you share a member with.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. The lead singer of the Morning Bird is our bassist.
Great.
Yep.
Cool. So there's a recap of for all of you that zoned out.
Is that geared towards me?
No, I
No?
was just looking at you.
No?
man.
Oh, all right.
Beautiful.
Let's see how it is.
All right, I'd like to know about other acts in the area that have caught your attention or impressed you lately.
All right, so
Oh, there you go.
we've already mentioned the Morning Bird, but really, that every time I see them, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
We are playing a show at the Beachland Tavern September 3rd. with Orange Animal, which is it's a really cool group, 3-piece, just a big rock sound, deep gravelly voice, and I like what they're doing.
All right.
Yeah, and I do feel like COVID has like been weird about stuff, you know? Like we're like slowly getting out of COVID and like starting to like hear like the bands again. And like again, like I'm super excited for Orange Animal. On that show is somebody from Columbus.
You say
Elisa
October 2nd?
Nicholas. September
September
3rd.
3rd.
September 3rd.
Yeah.
Well,
Way off.
Yeah, two weeks after the album release, we're going to be at Speechland. For anybody who can't make it to the album release, please come there. And I'm like excited to get back into the Cleveland scene because it seems like it's because of COVID, we've been on the back burner to like start seeing and playing these people again.
Yeah.
Blue Hour Band, they're actually from Akron, but they were right one before us, right before Love Fest, and they were great.
Mm-hmm.
And they're somebody that I think would fit well like with our style. They kind of have that like bluesy sound. So Blue Hour Band is another one that I'm super excited about. And like I think I had mentioned Eastern Union before. So our old bassist is in Eastern Union. I think what they're doing is phenomenal. They're definitely more of like a solid country sound. So if you're into that, Blue Hour is definitely more of like blues. So I think those two, and again, like just seeing Leah Mara the other day, like so excited for like the new stuff she's bringing to the table. And I think like as we continue this year and into 2023 to like see other bands, because there's been so much change in the past 2 years, I'm really excited to like, I think I would have a better answer to that question, you know, as I like start seeing more people.
There's an artist that I saw at Mahal's, Madison Pruitt, who is a just great younger female artist.
she's a great songwriter. Yeah, I've seen her perform before.
Was very impressed with her.
And I think like one of the hard things I think for us as a band is to like find, because it's like we have a female lead, we have female backing, like so we're female vocals, but we have like such a rock sound. It's trying to like find other it's sometimes it's hard to find other people that would like fit well with us. And I think in the past, like, it's starting to get better, but I know when we first started out, like, it was very, very rare that we'd be on another bill with another female vocalist. Very rare. And I think, like, over the course of the almost 8 years we've been a band, it's starting to get a lot better. So I'm like, I'm glad, like, you know, Madison Pruitt, and, like, there's more people that, like, we can call on that would work with us that aren't encapsulated in that, like, oh, you know, you're in this. I think women are treated better in the sense that, like, you're able to do other things, you're able to play with other things instead of like, oh, you're just a lady just singing in that like little bubble. And in the beginning, I think that, like, I don't know if it hindered us, but definitely people would look at a picture and not listen to us and think we sounded a certain way, and then they would listen to us and be like, oh, I can't believe you sounded like that. That was so good. It's like, well, you didn't give us a chance because you only cared about the image. And I also think that's like the whole social media age is people care so much about the image. And so we did new photos. We're trying to do some different branding to be like we want people to realize, like, when you look at a photo, how do you take a photo and encapsulate that into a song?
Does this look like we sound?
You can't.
It's a weird question.
And it's like you can't do it, but you have to try.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you're just lost. I think that's like one of the hardest things we have to do right now. I think that's completely off topic, but
No, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
I
it
love
came.
The topic is your band.
Yeah, and so like I think like as having a female lead, it really did take us. It took us a while to find our sound, and now that we found our sound, it's like, well, how do we find our style? Before the pandemic, like we went to like. We're doing big stage shows. We're like, okay, we're gonna be like all black. We're going to do our thing. Like, we're very professional. We're in all black. And, like, that looks great on stage. But in a photo, and you see a photo of people within all black clothes, you're like, well, what do you sound like? So...
all black, AJ in the woods.
Yeah.
AJ, leave the body in the woods.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like now we're trying to like find our visual style because we found our musical style. But how do we take a visual style and encapsulate that to represent our musical style? And it's so important now with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and all those things. And that's what we've been trying to do. Like, we did a bunch of new photos, and Molly Crow, her name is Molly Crow. She's part of Little Blackbird Photo is what she does. She does phenomenal work. So she did our last batch of photos, and like we made a point, we're like, okay, so our music is like kind of folky, kind of rocky, kind of dirty, kind of not. So our photos need to encapsulate, we're trying to think like vintage, but like you worked all day, you're letting your hair down, your shoes are off. So like it has that vintage sort of bluesy folk vibe, but yet it's rough and rock and you're going to drink your whiskey. And we told her that, and we think she did a great job in those photos. So anything you see on social media now, like any of those new photos, Molly did.
Cool.
She did a wonderful job. So it's a weird time. Like even before COVID, like before that, we were like, okay, whatever, we're finding our sound. Well, now we found our sound, so now it's like finding our look.
Completing that package.
Yeah, it's completing the package. Because again, like I said earlier, like our album, like we want to find that national sound. Like we're so proud of Cleveland. We're so proud of what was given us, but we want to be able to like market ourselves outside of Cleveland, to be able to be in a package for the nation and like for other places. And then how do we also do that visually? And like you see, you know, these like big name Beyonce and all these big stars, and they have like all these marketing people and all this stuff, and it's like it's such a weird time to navigate through stuff, because it's like if you don't have a couple thousand followers on Instagram, management doesn't want to talk to you. You know, so it's like
you kind of have to do it yourself before they're going to get involved.
Yeah, before they would get involved because they like you. Right. And now you have to show, oh, you're good enough, I'm going to take you because you're going to make me money. Yeah. And it's like at this point, like we're at the point where like we need help booking because we're too busy. Like we would love somebody to help us with a booking agent, because we're at the point where like that is taking up so much of our time. We want to be able to focus on music again, which we could do during the pandemic.
Sounds like you're ready for a manager.
Yeah, we're ready for a manager. We're ready for a booking agent. So plug to anybody who's interested or knows anything. But it's true. It's just like we're getting to that point. In the pandemic, we could just focus on our music. But now we have to focus on the management side. And so our music is like, we can't progress that right now. So it's like, if we could have someone to help us with that, then we could keep progressing our music. We could keep growing. We could keep doing new, innovative things. I think that's like the only frustration I have right now is just the fact that like I don't have enough time, because like you know you have families.
How much you have to do it yourself.
You have families and you have jobs to make this work, and you know, like we have like this is a business for us. Like we have an LLC. Like we do it, but like it's just enough to you know you got to
keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to navigate. The music is.
Music's
I don't know.
The
it
easy
feels
part.
It feels like the small part of it, right?
Yeah, and I want the music to be the big part of it, because I feel
Yeah.
like we could do so much and do such cool new things if we just had the time and the mental ability, like the mental capacity to focus on it. Mm-hmm. And right now, I feel like we don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I'm sure a lot of artists, feel
I think that's
that way.
common.
Vice just put out a video I watched the other day on YouTube, and it was about record companies and how they're just like all their attention right now is on TikTok. because they're trying to catch bands that go viral on TikTok before they decide they're going to put all their stuff on Spotify where it can make some money. And it's kind of changed the record contract
Did you say
as well.
make money on Spotify?
Yeah, I know. It's all about, they want to find people who would make money for them because before it was like, okay, I like your sound, I'm going to work with you and you'll help me make money. And now it's like, you're going to make money anyway, so I'm going to get you before you make the money so I don't have to work that hard.
But it's also changed the like the record deal structure where it used to be 85% for the record company, 15% for the artist, and then they're using that 15% to pay for their advance the whole time. And now it's starting more 50-50 because these artists are getting that initial thing on their own.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're getting
actually
that,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually swinging it more towards the artist's favor. So definitely recommend check out on YouTube. Vice News put out it's something about TikTok's effect in the music industry, but it just came out the other day. It was really cool to watch.
We have a TikTok. We have yet to post on TikTok.
We have an account.
We're too old for TikTok.
I know, I feel the same way.
I'm just gonna launch into that deep.
It's like us with Instagram.
We
We
just
have
forget.
an Instagram, but
we just forget.
we've
I've been
posted
posting on there.
nothing.
Yeah, we
more
tagged
lately.
you on Instagram today.
I saw it. Thank
Piper
you.
does all the social media because she's the young one. And
Maybe
thank
we
you,
need a Piper. We need a Piper.
We do.
Piper.
Yeah.
It's time to pay the Piper, Evan.
Actually, Rihanna's offered to do our social media. I'm gonna get on.
If somebody's offered,
100%, yeah.
because all you have to do is say, yeah, I think this is a good post for today, and she does it, and it's phenomenal, and she gets so many more likes
Well,
than I
we
would
just
ever
need
do.
to remember to take the
It's
picture.
well
We do.
crafted.
That's our number one thing.
We
We
always
got him to take the picture.
Yeah.
I know. He shows up. He's got the camera with the same tassels that mine has on it.
It's great.
Good, driving the same vehicle, playing the same instrument.
little weird,
He's a man
man.
of taste.
Yeah.
So, Zach, we've been saying he has to have an album. He has to have like a coffee table book called Photos from a Throne, and it's only photos that he has taken like sitting on his drum throne.
That's an
Yeah,
awesome
so
idea.
it's a unique perspective, right? And so it's shots from practice, it's shots from when we're warming up, it's shots from the actual show, and I remember to bring it up and snap a few. So
Shots from Fox 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
I do.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
a good one.
Nice.
So I want to get enough
And then I
that's
have
like
to remember to take some of him.
it's the whole progression. So that's
Yeah.
a coffee table book coming to a store near you.
I'd
Yeah.
buy that.
I like it. Yeah.
Getting flashed. I don't know if that was not taken a picture of, but that's happened.
That was not. That was an early event.
that
I was like,
early?
I got to stick with this band. we that was the show we played down at the after the music festival.
There was a music festival where the Ren Fair was, but then it was what was it called? JC would know the name. Oh my god! So like
What?
there was a music festival and we played the after
Was that
party.
AGMT?
MGMT. So MGMT was supposed to be the headliner that night, but there was a thunderstorm and they got like canceled because of the lightning. So all of these people were so sad. So they come to the after party because they're all the campers. And the campers are like, I have camped at a music festival before. They are like the legit fans. And so we had like a 2.5 hour set. We played originals, we played covers, whatever. Like they were singing along. It was great. And at the end,
Well, during this show, this young lady was near the front, and she did a flash, and she turned around and she did a little backwards flash, and I was drumming. I was like, hey, all right, cool, but whatever. And then the show was over, and we're like starting to break down gear, and she comes up to me and she said, I'm not sure if you. She's like, I want to make sure that you saw. And I was like, okay. And she just right in front of me, and I was like, thank you.
why do you say that?
Have a great night. Like it was flattering, but yeah, I was like, if this is what it's gonna be like playing with these guys, I'm in it.
Yeah, it's.
And then
And-
it's never happened again.
Yeah,
It has
and
not.
then the next time we played
So they got you.
the same
They paid her
festival,
off.
Yeah.
the next year we
He's
played
winning,
it,
but-
and there was this like big pirate ship stage that like the pirate ship they used for like Ren Fair stuff, but then they turned into a stage and we played the pirate ship stage. And I
did.
remember that like next, so it was like
Pirate Ship was awesome.
the next
Sounds like
morning,
it.
so it was like a 2-day or 3-day festival. So the next morning we were like in it was Chip's booth.
Yeah.
And it was like right near like the huge big stage, and they played Rush at like 6 a.m. to like test the sound system. So you think like a big, huge
Yeah, they're like,
sound
let's
system.
put Tom Sawyer up to 11.
Yeah.
And just wake
For,
everybody
like,
up.
it was insane. I remember
The
waking
entire
up,
county.
like, what is this? Yeah, that was, again, another one for the history books. Like, it's just so many stories. I have to write them down.
All right, well, AJ in the Woods, Allison, Zach, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you
and
for having
thanks for
us.
coming on.
Yeah.
You know. Again, check out their new album coming out on the 12th, which should be the Friday of this
Friday?
release
That's what I checked.
of this, and
It's a
then
Friday.
House of Blues on the 20th.
Yep.
Cool, great, only $15.
So many wonderful
Sounds great.
bands.
Yeah.
So it's not just
Absolutely.
us. You have 3 other bands, so
Great.
4
If
bands.
you can't catch
$15.
that, then try the Beachland on September 3rd.
Not October 2nd.
No.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. Top of my,
Yep.
top of my head.
September 3rd. Yep. We'll be in the tavern. It'll be fun.
Excellent. Love the tavern.
Yeah.
Love the tavern. All right. We always ask our guests one last question before we leave. Can you give us a recommendation for a movie, TV series, or YouTube channel we should check out?
So my husband and I just finished watching Obi-Wan. Highly recommend it. I grew up on Star Wars. My dad can literally repeat everything from the first 6 movies. The new ones don't count. Obi-Wan. That's my recommendation.
All right.
Prehistoric Planet too, if I give 2. Yeah.
Pre what?
Prehistoric Planet. It's on Apple TV. It's David Attenborough. It's like nature documentary.
Prehistoric Planet.
It's like nature documentary, but it's like dinosaurs.
Oh,
but in the
I love David
turn
Attenborough's
of a
those
nature documentary. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Planet Earth and all the other
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically that, but
Yeah,
like dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Great.
I would recommend The Bear on Hulu. So it's a kitchen drama. And
Look it up. Haven't heard of it.
it's wonderfully made. It is an incredibly stressful show to watch because it's all the heightened stress of what goes on in a kitchen and all the relationships.
What kind of restaurant?
So this takes place in Chicago, and it's just a little sandwich joint there. But there's 8 episodes. The 7th one is 20-minute single shot. So it's uncut the entire episode, and it's the most stressed out I've ever been watching a television show, and I'm so impressed with it, and I never want to watch it again.
Did you ever work in a kitchen?
No,
Okay.
no.
I've
So
served.
I've heard people
I've
say
been a
that
server.
they don't want to watch it because it just brings back the wrong kind of memories.
PTSD.
Yeah.
That's good.
I get it. I was front of house too for 15 years, bartending and serving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outback Steakhouse, baby.
I'm
Good
gonna throw in George Chase's again the happy
Happy
hour
Hour
sessions. Check those out
On
on
YouTube.
YouTube. A lot of local artists going on there, coming in with George from the Sublets and writing a song as you watch. So very
Cool.
cool
Sounds
episode.
cool.
I think the first 4 are out now. I've seen the first 2.
Cool.
I think it releases 2 per week. So very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Cool.
much for having us.
No.
I feel like it shouldn't be done. I could talk to you guys for another 3 hours. So.
Oh, we can
Thank
do
you.
part
Yeah.
2 with AJ in the Woods for
We'll get
the
JC
next
here,
album.
and he'll talk to you about the Ren Fair the whole time.
We'll
Sounds
just do
good.
an episode with just JC.
It's called Joust.
Well, thanks for the vinyl
You're
and the
welcome.
CD.
Absolutely.
Really
You gotta throw
appreciate
the
the
sticker on the
stickers.
table.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
for
good.
sure.
You got a pin? You're
I'm
good
gonna
to
pop
go.
this album in on the way home. Advanced copy of Stay Steady.
Yeah.
AJ in the Woods 2.
Yep.
All right. For Cuyahoga Sound Podcast, I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
Peace.